All right, let's dive into something that is, no joke, one of the most powerful tools you can have for your financial health. We're talking about the emergency fund. It's basically your ultimate safety net, and really getting a handle on it is, well, it's your first real step toward feeling truly secure with your money.
Okay, just for a second, I want you to really think about this. What would actually happen if, tomorrow, your main source of income just stopped? Gone. It's a pretty uncomfortable thought, right? But that feeling is the exact reason we need to talk about this. And look, this isn't some far-off hypothetical. Life is just full of these financial shocks. It could be a sudden job loss, a medical bill that comes out of nowhere, or, a global pandemic that flips the entire world on its head. These are real things that can happen to literally anyone at any time.
But here's the good news. You don't just have to be a sitting duck waiting for things to go wrong. There is a proactive, really powerful tool that's designed specifically to shield you from the fallout of these kinds of events. It's not some complicated financial wizardry, but man, it is absolutely essential.
And that tool, it's the emergency fund. So, what is it exactly? Well, the definition is pretty simple, but so powerful. It is money you've set aside for one reason and one reason only, to handle those big, out-of-the-blue expenses that life loves to throw at you. It's your personal break glass in case of emergency money.
A really good way to picture it is to think of it as a financial cushion. It's a buffer that literally stands between you and a potential disaster. So when something goes wrong, this fund is there to absorb the shock, which stops a bad situation from turning into a totally catastrophic one.
Okay, so that leads us to the big, practical question, right? If we're going to build this buffer, how much money are we actually talking about here? How big does this financial safety net really need to be to do its job?
So the general rule of thumb is to save up enough cash to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. Now, 3 months is a great starting point, but 6 is even better. Honestly, the more you can put away, the more secure you're going to feel. And where do you keep this money? You want it somewhere safe and easy to get to, but not too easy, you know? A high-yield savings account that's separate from your everyday checking account is pretty much perfect. It lets the money earn a little something for you, but it's right there when you truly need it. And when we say living expenses, what are we talking about? We mean the absolute essentials, the must-haves, not the nice-to-haves. The easiest way to get your number is to just pull up your bank statements from the last couple of months. Add up everything you have to pay, your rent or mortgage, utilities, food, insurance, any minimum debt payments. And be honest with yourself. Leave out the stuff like subscriptions you could totally cancel or the takeout you could skip. That final number? That's your monthly target. And that's the number you're going to multiply by 3, or even better, by 6.
To really truly get the impact of having an emergency fund, let's play out a little scenario. Let's imagine what happens when a crisis, like losing a job, hits 2 different people. We're going to call this a tale of 2 wallets.
And wow, the difference couldn't be more clear. Without a fund, you are under immediate, intense financial pressure. You might have to start borrowing money right away, probably at crazy high interest rates, and that just kicks off a whole new cycle of debt. The stress, the uncertainty, it's just overwhelming. But with a fund, you've got breathing room. You're covered for months, which gives you time to actually find a good new job, not just the first one that comes along. You have security, you have peace of mind.
And listen, this isn't just being dramatic. This is the reality. Without that buffer, you really could find yourself broke in a flash, forced to borrow money at high interest rates just to stay afloat. That's the exact downward spiral an emergency fund is built to prevent.
So, after all of this, it all really boils down to one simple question. The only question that really matters, in fact, is your future self protected? Because the choices you make today are what build that buffer, the one that protects you from disaster tomorrow. So, what's your next step going to be?